Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Knowledge Crush. I'm Dr. Vishaka, and in this video we will discuss about the folding and the faulting. In geology, the term folding and faulting refer to the changes that occur below the surface of the earth. What here I'm just trying to explain you, whatever the changes is happen below the surface of the earth is something called the folding and the faulting. See, right now, whatever the changes that occur below the surface of the earth, in short we call it is folding and the faulting. So what fold and how the fold constitutes? See here in this diagram I'm trying to explain you, this is what the folding is happened. Okay, this is what the fold. So fold means what? Twist, turn and bend. Okay, see what happened here, either I can call it is twist or it is turn or bend, that is called the fold. That is something called the fold, and which is present in the rock. See, this is the rock and this is what the example of folding. And now if we talk about the fault, which means what? Means the detached plane. See what happened, they are detaching from each other and that is something called the fault. I hope so. This is very basic definition, and right now you all understand what exactly meaning the folding and the faulting. Okay. So in fold, what exactly we call fold, that constitute the twist, turn and bend that are present in the rock is called the fold or the folding. On the other hand, if we talk about the faulting, means what exactly? That is the detached plane formed when rock on either side are detached or displaced or move away. That is something called the fault. Okay, so folding and faulting are the process by which different earthly landforms are formulated. See, different earthly landforms are formulated, and that is something here called the folding and the faulting. Okay, so now in this video we visualize the representation of these two tectonic process, how this process, these two process is done and all, and we'll just visualize everything in this video. Okay, so basically in this video we will discuss about the various aspects of what geological process of folding and folding. Like we can here talk about their meaning, their types of fold, faults, and apart from that, in the last we discuss the difference between them. Okay, so firstly we get to know why this is important and all. So they see, if we talk about folding and faulting, both are the fundamental concept if we prepare for the UPSC exam. This is very basic thing. Why it is very fundamental concept? Because if we talk about the mains, in which the GS first paper, then it is really a very critical part of the geography in terms of mains, and also the GS prelims syllabus too. Getting my point? So here let's we start our topic, what is folding and what is folding. So basically we start our topic from the definition of the folding and the folding. So the first definition is what is folding. See, हम इस slide पे नहीं समझेंगे, we trying to explain on this diagram only what is folding. So rock can bend, fold when they undergo plastic deformation. See here, they are going here starting their bending or I guess folding. Okay, in three diagram the same thing, bending and the folding, that's called the folding. Means what exactly I said, bend or the fold when they go some deformation. When the rock is squeezed, as happen at the boundary of the colloidal plates, when they start to squeeze, and where it is happen mostly, and where I said it is mostly is going to be happen on the colloidal plate where the two plates collide each other. Okay, as we all know our Himalaya, that is also the example of folding mountain. तो यहाँ पे इस इसमें which two plates are collide? One is the European plate and second Indo-Australian plate. What happened? These two plate boundaries are collides and the folding takes place, and now we get the Himalaya because of this folding. Okay, so upturn fold. See, this is what the upturn fold. This is what called the upturn fold, and this fold is called the anticline. See in this slide also, what upturn fold is called the anticline, and this downward fold are called the syncline. If we go on this slide also, we'll easily understand what I just say. This fold is called the anticline, and when we talk about this downward fold is called the syncline. You getting my point? So anticlines and the synclines are the folds in the rock that are classified as a geological structure, and these are the only thing which classified the geological structure of the rock. Okay, how they cause? because the surface to take the form of linear ridge means the anticline and the syncline means the trough. So here again I tell you, this is what anticlines means what, this is ridge, and the syncline, if we talk about syncline, this is what called the trough, and they cause the surface to take the form of ridge and the trough. Okay, so see here, I use word, this is what called a limb. In this diagram again also I talk, this is what called the limb, and here also we understand this is what called the, this is what, these two are the limbs, and they are the folds at the sides, and these are the only thing because of which we can say this is the fold mountain. Apart from that, there is a one middle line, and there that line what we call the axial plane. This is what the axial plane. See here, in the three symmetrical means here also the axial line is there. When they are asymmetrically anticline, then also we can see, and this is outturn anticline. There also we can see the axial plane, and these are the frictious plane that divide each fold into two or run down its length. Okay, this is what the definition of folding. You getting my point? Okay, so now we go in little bit detail, and we'll again see what the folding is little bit. Again, in a very simple, what I just say, what is fold means that is the wave like structure. See, now you can easily understand, this is what the wave like structure. See here again, this is the wave like structures that form the rock or the part of the earth crust. Okay, and why this is happened? Because of the compressional stress. Here we can see the compressional stress on both the side, and because of this stress we see this fold means the wave like structure here. Okay, so the fold that are upwardly, again I repeat, that is what called the anticlines, and this is what called the syncline. These all things we already know. Now here we can going to see that getting. Okay, so these types of fold we are going to see on this over this diagram. Okay, so the first I use word, that is the symmetrical fold. See, this is what the symmetrical fold. Symmetrical means what, is a one in which the axial plane is vertical. See, in this slide also I can put it here. This is what the symmetrical. Okay, this is what the fold, and which fold it is, symmetrical fold. But what is the speciality of this fold? The axial plane. If we talk about this plane is completely in a vertical in position, and this is what called the symmetrical fold. Then if we talk about the asymmetrical fold, asymmetrical, see what we exactly see here, ये जो ऊपर वाला part है, जो ये anticline है, ये क्या हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा bend होते हुए दिख रहा है इसमें, and due to which we call this is the asymmetrical fold. And here the this axial plane is inclined. What we see here, the axial plane is inclined, and this is something called the asymmetrical fold. Then we talk about the here isocline. Okay, this is what isocline has the limb that are essentially parallel to each other and thus approximately parallel to the axis plane. They are approximately parallel to the axis plane, and this is what is called the isocline. Now we talk about the overturn fold. See, this is what the overturn fold here. What I just say, overturn, because they are overturning to each other, that is called the overturn. These are the highly inclined axial plane, and such that strata on the limb are the overturn. See, overturn means what I just say, they are overturning with each other, and this is something called overturn fold. And the last fold, if here I talk, that is the recumbent fold. See, this is recumbent. What here exactly? We see this axis is completely become the horizontal. Now firstly what we see in this symmetrical, that is in the completely vertical, but if we draw here, so what we exactly see, that is going to be in means the horizontal axial plane, and this plane is called the recumbent fold. यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? तो ये जो हमने अभी यहाँ पे बात की, एक है टाइप्स ऑफ फोल्ड, और किसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, फोल्डिंग की, और फोल्डिंग में ही हमने बात की टाइप्स ऑफ फोल्ड की. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज कॉल्ड द फोल्डिंग. जो नेक्स्ट हम यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं, जो हमारा नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है, वो हम बात कर रहे हैं फोल्डिंग. सी हियर, व्हाट इज फोल्डिंग? सरफेस फोल्डिंग is likely to happen when the intense stress accumulate and exceed the yield limit on the large intact rock of masses. See here in this diagram again also I trying to explain you what just I said. Why this faulting is occurred? See here, horizontal faulting, this is vertical faulting. Why this faulting is occurred? Because the intense stress are coming, or intense stress accumulate, and then the yield the limit on the large intact rock masses, and then this type of faults are occurred. Okay, So the crack along which the movement occur is referred to as a fault. So these are the cracks, and why this crack is occurred? Because of the movement. So the crack along which movement occur, and this crack is something, or this movement of this crack is called the fault, and this is what we call the fault. And the fault plane is the section of the earth surface along with the slippage occur. So whenever we can talk about this, so this is what called the fault in this diagram. Fault means what exactly I said, when the earth crust bend, folding occur, but when it crack, faulting occur. What I said in the previous, when they start to bend, then what happened here? When they start to bend, then the folding is occur. But in this diagram, what just I said, when they start to crack, the faulting occur. When they start to crack, the faulting occur. Okay, so here you can easily see the fault. What it is? It is the fracture, or either I said the crack. Okay, where it is happened on the earth crust mostly, and across there has been a significant displacement of the block or the block crust or the block crust. So significantly, what I just said, the displacement is occur, and this displacement is something called the fault. So the faulted edge are usually very steep. See, whatever that faulted edge, they are in a steep in nature, like the Black Forest, that mountain we see in the Rhineland, or the Osges also. So faults occur due to the tensile and the compressive force. See here in this diagram I use word what is the tensile and what is the compressive force. What I got, but why this fault occur? Because of the tensile or the compressive force. Then how the tensile and the compressive forces happen? What is tensile means? To create the tension. This compression is happened because of the pressure or the because of the squeezing. This thing is happened. So capacity to compress means they are compressing to each other. That is something here we call the compressive. So the how the fault occur? Because of the tensile and the compressive force means the pulling and the pushing force. What we just say, the faults occur where in the parts of the crust. So large fault within the earth crust. How it is result? That is the action of plate tectonic forces, or either I said the subduction zone or the transform fault. See, why this fault is happened? Mostly because of the action large fault within the earth crust. It is result of the action of plate tectonic force and such a subduction zone or the transform fault. So see, mostly we see earthquake. Mostly the earthquake is the cause of this. Why? Because what earthquake? Shaking of the earth. Then how the earth is start to shake? Because the energy is released. So this energy release associated with the rapid movement or the active fault in the is the cause of most earthquakes. So mostly the earthquake is happened because of this release of energy or because of this fault. So in an active fault, piece of the earth crust along a fault move over the time. See, if we see the active fault, supposed to be this is the active fault, then what exactly happened here? The piece of the earth crust along the fault move over the time. The piece of the earth move along the time. And inactive fault, what here exactly happened? Their movement along them at one time, but no longer move. There is only one time movement is happened when the fault is inactive. Okay, and no longer move. But if we talk about the active fault, the pieces of the earth crust along the fault move over the time. So in the active fault we see the movement, but if we talk about the inactive fault, we see no longer movement. So type of the motion along the fault depend on the type of fault. So now basically we are going to see the types of fault. See here, this is the headline, types of fault. This is strike slip fault, transform fault, deep slip fault, oblique slip fault. Okay, so we discuss this fault over this slide only. So the first fault here we are going to talk is the strike slip fault. See, this is the strike slip fault. These all are the same thing, strike slip fault. So what it is? It means the transcurrent fault also. Strike slip fault is also called the transcurrent fault. Why? Because this fault usually occur near the vertical and the block move laterally, either left or the right. Why? What exactly this is happened here? And this block is move either left or the right. This fault is called the strike slip fault. You getting my point? So next fault, we talk about the transform fault. See, this is again the special class of the strike slip fault. This is fault. This is again the also the type of strike slip fault only, and but it is come under the special class of strike slip fault. Or is the boundary when it form a plate boundary. During the same time they form the transform boundary, and due to which we call this fault a transform fault, and it is nothing but the special class of strike slip bond. So transform fault is the only type of strike slip fault that is classified as a plate boundary. See, we all know that we already talk about the plate boundary, plate movement, okay, plate tectonic movement or the boundaries. So whenever we talk about the plate boundary, then there is only one type to explain this plate boundary, that is the transform fault. Most of these faults are hidden in the deep ocean, mostly where we see this transform fault in the deep ocean, and where the offset divergent boundaries ensure zigzag resulting the seafloor spreading. Okay, and mostly this transform fault is less common within the continental lithosphere. But just remember, this fault is nothing but the strike slip fault, but we put this case in the special case of strike slip fault. Okay. So if we take the example of this transform fault, that is the Dead Sea, which is come under the transform fault, and this is the example of the transform fault. Okay, now the third is called the deep slip fault. Now this is, I can talk here about the deep slip fault. See, this is the again the same fault, deep slip fault. Deep slip fault can be either normal or the reverse. See, this is the normal or this is the reverse. These are the two types only. So if we talk about the normal fault, see, if I talk here about the normal fault, then what? The hanging wall. Hanging wall means, suppose this is in the stationary and this is the wall which is in the hanging nature. Why? Because this is the block which displaces. Okay, this block is displaced from this stationary block or this foot wall of the mountain. So this block is called the hanging wall. I use word here the hanging wall, and I am talking here about the normal fault. So what? This block is moved downward. This block is moved downward, okay, relative to this stationary block. Okay, so this is what called the normal fault. And in the reverse fault, what we just say, just opposite. This block is moved upward direction, that is called the reverse fault. You getting my point? So here we use and we understand how this reverse fault occur. Why? Because of this reverse fault is done because of the compression. Why this reverse fault occur? Due to the compressive force. Okay, see here in this diagram, what I just say, this is the compressive force. Compressive means they are pushing towards each other. This is what called the compressive force. You getting my point? So again I come here and will trying to explain normal fault is occur. Why? Because of the compressive forces, and what they are pushing towards each other is called the compressive force, and this is what we are talking about the reverse fault. And why this is occur? Because of the compressive force. And if we talk about the normal fault, why it is occur? Because of the tensile force. See, because of this force, okay, they are moving away from each other because this is something called the tension, and this force is called the tensional force. And because of this force, what just I said here, the normal fault is occur. You getting my point? So if we talk about this reverse fault, how it is occur? Because of the compressive forces. Okay, and if we talk about the tensile normal faults, how it is occur? Because of the tensile forces. So see, in the next diagram here, the same thing I am trying to explain. So because what type of fault is formed because of the tensile force, that is the normal fault. So this is the example of the normal fault, and here we trying to understand the graben and the host. So down thrown block between the two normal faults, this is what the down thrown fault, and between these two normal faults is called the graben. This down thrown part is called the graben, and the up thrown block between these two normal faults is called the host. See, in हम इस graben and host के बारे में ना सेपरेटली जानेंगे जब हम माउंटेन के बारे में बात करेंगे, जिसमें ब्लॉक माउंटेन की बात होगी. पर यहाँ पे मैंने ये जस्ट एग्जांपल इसलिए बताया आपको क्योंकि हम यहाँ पे फॉल्ट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, और फॉल्ट में भी मैंने दो तरीके की चीजें बताई. एक तो कंप्रेशन कंप्रेशन और दूसरा टेंशन फोर्स की वजह से या कंप्रेसिव फोर्स की वजह से हमने कहा था यहाँ पे रिवर्स फॉल्ट बनता है, और टेंसिल फोर्स की वजह से क्या कहा मैंने, नॉर्मल फॉल्ट बनता है। और रिवर्सिव एंड द कंप्रेसिव, या ये किस तरीके से आता है, ये फोर्स मैंने यहाँ पे दिखाए हैं। तो इसी वजह से यहाँ पे कुछ फॉर्मेशन होता है, और उसी को हमें समझने के लिए मैंने ये ब्लॉक माउंटेन का यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल दिया है। सो हियर व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन यू, व्हेन वी सी द डाउन थ्रोन ब्लॉक, दिस इज व्हाट द डाउन थ्रोन ब्लॉक, दिस इज टू आर द इन द स्टेशनरी, okay, they are not, there is no movement in between these two, they are in a stationary, but this fault is down thrown, okay, this block is down thrown block between the two normal faults, and this area is called the graben. When we see this up thrown part, this up thrown fault, okay, this up thrown block between this normal fault is called the host. Okay, so normal fault occur mainly in the areas where the crust is being extended, like where the divergent boundaries, mostly where we see the normal fault, नॉर्मल फॉल्ट जहाँ पे डाइवर्जेंट बाउंड्रीज की हम बात करते हैं। यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? मैं बात कर रही हूँ नॉर्मल फॉल्ट की, और नॉर्मल फॉल्ट क्यों हो रहा है, बिकॉज ऑफ द टेंसाइल। और ये क्यों टेंसाइल, जो मैंने यहाँ पे फोर्स की बात की, मतलब क्या हो रहा है एग्जैक्टली, वो डाइवर्ट हो रहे हैं फ्रॉम ईच अदर, और ऐसी जगह पे हम कौन सा फॉल्ट देखते हैं, नॉर्मल फॉल्ट। एंड द रिवर्स फॉल्ट की बात करें तो ये कहाँ पे होगा, जहाँ पे कन्वर्जेंट होगा। ओके, जब दो कंटिनेंटल प्लेट एक दूसरे की तरफ कन्वर्ज होना स्टार्ट होगी, या कंप्रेशन वहां पे, या कंप्रेशनल स्ट्रेस या फोर्स वहां पे अकर होगा, तो ऐसी जगह पे क्या होगा, कन्वर्जेंट बाउंड्री फॉर्म होगी। यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? और यहाँ पे जो फॉल्ट हमें दिखेगा वो क्या होगा, रिवर्स फॉल्ट। ठीक है, द लास्ट फॉल्ट यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं, लास्ट फॉल्ट, दैट इज द ऑब्लिक स्लिप फॉल्ट। ऑब्लिक स्लिप फॉल्ट, व्हाट इट इज, अ फॉल्ट विच हैज द कंपोनेंट ऑफ डीप स्लिप। सी यहाँ पे ये फॉल्ट दिख रहा है, पर ये एक्सट्रीमली क्या है, डीपली दिख रहा है। तो ये जो डीप स्लिप जो मैं बात कर रही हूँ, ये तो स्लिप में ही है, स्ट्राइक स्लिप की हम बात कर रहे हैं, पर ये क्या है, डीपली है। तो ये जो डीप स्लिप है, या ये स्ट्राइक स्लिप का ही कंपोनेंट है, अगेन आई रिपीट, ये स्ट्राइक स्लिप का है, पर ये जो फॉल्ट है क्या, बहुत ज्यादा डीप है, और ये ऑब्लिकली है, इसी वजह से हम इसे क्या कहते हैं, ऑब्लिक स्लिप फॉल्ट। नियरली ऑल फॉल्ट्स हैव द सम कंपोनेंट ऑफ बोथ डीप स्लिप एंड द स्ट्राइक स्लिप। ओके, तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया, कवर करने की कोशिश की अबाउट व्हाट, फोल्डिंग एंड द फॉल्टिंग। तो बेसिकली अब हम यहाँ पे देखते हैं कि इन दोनों में, फोल्डिंग एंड फॉल्टिंग की जो मैंने यहाँ पे बात की, इन दोनों में एग्जैक्टली डिफरेंस क्या है, हम इसको किस तरीके से डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हैं। सो यदि फोल्डिंग और फॉल्टिंग की बात करें, तो फोल्डिंग मतलब क्या, मैंने कहा था, द टर्न एंड बेंड फ्रॉम द रॉक। जो टर्न होगा और बेंड होगा उसे हमने कहा था फोल्डिंग, और जहाँ पे फ्रैक्चर या क्रैक आएगा उसे हमने कहा था फॉल्ट। ओके, उसे हमने क्या कहा था, फॉल्ट, आर कॉल्ड द फोल्ड। ओके, एंड फॉल्ट का क्या कहा था मैंने, व्हेन द डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज अकर और द मूवमेंट ऑफ द रॉक आर कॉल्ड द फॉल्ट। व्हेन द कंप्रेशनल फोर्स एक्ट ऑन इनहेरेंटली फ्लेक्सिबल और द डक्टाइल रॉक, फोल्ड अकर। फोल्ड कब अकर हो रहा है, कंप्रेशनल फोर्स की वजह से। और फोल्ड एंड फिशर, फोल्ड आर द फिशर्स मींस द फ्रैक्चर्स। ओके, जब इसमें अपोजिट डायरेक्शन का जब फोर्स या टेंसाइल फोर्स अकर होता है, तब क्या होता है, फोल्ड, यहाँ पे फॉल्ट अकर होता है। फोल्ड जनरली अकर ऑन द रॉक, बट कहाँ पे, दैट लाई इनसाइड, डीप इनसाइड द अर्थ क्रस्ट, जो इनसाइड द अर्थ क्रस्ट के अंदर डीपली होता है, उनमें फोल्ड हमें दिखता है। एंड फॉल्टिंग अकर जनरली ऑन द लेयर्स ऑफ द रॉक। फॉल्टिंग कहाँ पे हम देखते हैं, लेयर्स ऑफ द रॉक पे। सी यहाँ पे इस डायग्राम में आपको क्लियर होगा, फॉल्टिंग हम कहाँ पे देख रहे हैं, लेयर्स ऑफ द रॉक के अंदर। बट द सेम टाइम यदि मैं यहाँ पे आपको बात करूं इसकी फोल्डिंग की, तो ये कहाँ पे हो रहा है, डीप इनसाइड द अर्थ क्रस्ट। ओके, न्यूमेरस टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रेस may be given rise to the fold in rock, मोस्टली टेम्परेचर, पोर प्रेशर, ये सारे रीजंस होते हैं। और फॉल्टिंग की यदि बात करते हैं तो ये नॉमिनल डीप स्लिप फॉल्ट से भी ये चीजें होती हैं। ओके, ये क्या हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, डिफरेंस। व्हाइल द माइनर फोल्ड आर विजिबल एंड मेजर फोल्ड्स आर सीन मोस्टली इन द एरिड रीजन। एरिड रीजन में ही हम ये इस तरीके की मोस्टली सीन देखते हैं, किसमें, फोल्ड में। और फॉल्ट की बात करें तो फॉल्ट्स आर वेरी मेजरेबल, मींस हैव अ मेजरेबल थिकनेस, दो द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द फॉल्ट कैन वेरी डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रॉक टाइप। और ये मोस्टली किसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि रॉक का टाइप क्या है, नहीं तो ये वेरी इजीली हमें यहाँ पे दिख सकते हैं। पर यदि हम फोल्ड की बात करते हैं तो ये जो मेजर फोल्ड, जो ये मैंने डायग्राम उठाई है, मेजर फोल्ड ये मोस्टली कहाँ पे हमें दिखता है, एरिड रीजन के ऊपर ही दिखता है। और यहाँ से हमें क्लियर हो रहा है कि ये रीजन कौन सा है, एरिड रीजन ही आता है। मोस्ट माउंटेन रेंजेस लाइक एल्प्स, हिमालय, ये फोल्ड मतलब हाउ द रिजल्ट फ्रॉम द रॉक माउंटेन, ये क्या है, फोल्ड के एग्जांपल्स है। पर यदि हम फॉल्टिंग के यदि बात करते तो नर्मदा एंड द ताप्ती वैली आर द एग्जांपल ऑफ द फॉल्टिंग। यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? ये क्या है, इसका डिफरेंस है, किसका, फोल्डिंग एंड द फॉल्टिंग का। सो बेसिकली की डिफरेंस क्या है फोल्डिंग एंड फॉल्टिंग का? फोल्डिंग occurs when the earth crust bend away from the flat surface and faulting when the crust as means when the crust is breakable because of the pressure. ठीक है, ये क्या है इसके एग्जाम्पल से, किसकी मैं बात कर रही हूँ, फोल्डिंग एंड द फॉल्टिंग की. ओके, सो बेसिकली हम ये सब देखने के बाद हम क्या मतलब कंक्लूड कर क्या निकलता है कि फोल्डिंग एंड द फॉल्टिंग आर द टू मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट जियोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस एंड these two processes are really responsible for the different landforms like they made the hill, mountain ranges, plateau. If we talk about the earth crust, they faces continuous compressional and the tensile forces that we already know, and those rocks that are brittle and will bend or twist due to the compressional force. When this force acting on, then the folding constitute. Okay, and if the rock is hard, instead of folding, what here happened? Develop the cracks. And why this crack is happened? Because of the tensile force which exert pressure on them. And this process is called the faulting. This is what the conclusion is. So in the next video हम यहाँ पे देखेंगे कि माउंटेन, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हमने बात की है फोल्डिंग की एंड द फॉल्टिंग की. फोल्ड से हम फोल्ड माउंटेन एंड फॉल्टिंग की यदि बात करें तो यहाँ से हम ब्लॉक माउंटेन की बात करेंगे. पर माउंटेन जो चैप्टर है ये हम सेपरेटली नेक्स्ट मीन्स सेपरेट वीडियो में देखेंगे. फॉर अप टू देन, थैंक यू.